let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
Stop!
That's the signal! Go!
Drop
Go!
it! Sit!
Stop! It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
What's going on, everybody? Good to have you along on a Wednesday wet morning. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. Quick reminder, we are now available on the TuneIn app so you can listen live with your Android Auto or your Apple CarPlay. Just download that free TuneIn app. Start listening to us in your car all times during the day. If you're watching or listening on YouTube this morning, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and of course, start leaving your comments in the comments section. Hello, Ross Peterson.
What's up,
on there, buddy?
Buddy, what you know on a Wednesday? Wednesday.
I know that you have a river running down your street.
Dude, we've had a massive amount of rain here in the last, I don't know, couple of hours. It feels like it's been raining since I woke up at 5, and it was raining well before that. Might have been raining when I woke up to go to the bathroom at like 3. But right now, a lot of water. We've had a lot of water in the metro area going north. So yeah, plenty of rain today for sure.
I woke up this morning and I woke up around 3:15 just accidentally because I'm an old man and I had to pee, right? I mean, I got the old man pees in the middle of the night, and it was a pretty darn good lightning storm. I'm like, oh, we got ourselves a thunderstorm. But because I got the new windows in the house, I can't hear thunder. I mean, if it's a big boom, I can hear it. But basic little thunder, can't hear. I can't hear it rain outside. I've got the triple pane windows.
What are we doing? We're blocking ourselves out from the world. I have single pane windows. Okay, they're drafty. I get nature in my house. When it snows outside, it snows inside.
Look at the realtor in you coming out. Now, what would be an easier sale? Now, if you're selling your house or my house, would you say, look at these wonderful single pane 100-year windows? Or would you go, do you really want these triple pane?
Look at all the natural light coming in this place. Oh, truth is, I swear to God, anybody that's been in a house with me knows this. And this is like a running joke. I don't sell houses. Travis. I open the door for you. I'm going to let you go inside, and I'm going to help answer some questions for you and help you figure it. And I know my way around. I know if a roof is bad. I know if it's a single pane window or new windows. I can look at stuff and see if it needs to be fixed and how much it's going to be, and I can help you with that sort of stuff. I do not walk into a house and go, oh, welcome home.
Yeah, it's not like walking on a car lot where they're really trying to sell you a car. And the truth is, I like a car salesman kind of pointing out features to me, because you get in a car and you're like, hey, it does this, it does this, it does this. But you're right. I've owned 3 homes in my life, and no realtor has ever sold me a house. It's my wife going, this is where I feel comfortable.
Yeah. That's usually one of the questions I ask is, hey, how you feel? And they go, usually say, I don't know. Go, okay, well, hey, we got another house we can look at. You don't have to buy this one. Yeah, it just doesn't feel like this is where I want to live. All right, well, let's shut the door and go see the next one. And then people walk into houses and go, they're like, I don't know. There's times people walk in and they're like, oh, my couch fits right here. Yeah, I could see myself having coffee there on the deck. Oh man, yeah, my buddy Larry, he lives like 6 blocks over. He loves this. You know what? And then you're like, all right, now let's look for the bads that would make sure we're not buying something horrible.
That's where the inspection comes in. Well, we'll get this thing inspected for you, and we'll find that. We'll open that can of worms.
So happy that the rain to me, I love the rain because of the sound on the roof. Now, because I have a bungalow, and so there is no attic above me. It's just roof above me. So when it rains, It's almost like sleeping in a tent. Don't do that.
Pitter patter of the natural sound.
You make me fall asleep. Don't do that.
Now, are you the type of guy that has to sleep with noise?
Yes.
Because my wife has a fan on all night long, and I've just become I can sleep without it. Like when she's gone, I rarely turn the fan on because I can sleep without it. But I've become accustomed to it to where my wife, like I was going to bed last night, I shut the light off. She goes, I go, yes. She goes, turn the fan on. I'm like, okay, I'll turn the fan on. So we've got that natural sound going all the time. When we go on vacation, she packs our fan. Like when we were up in
Ryan literally just put a message up, says, I have a travel fan.
Yes, I'm like, we'll have the expedition packed full, and she goes, oh, we have to find room for the fan. I'm like, really? We can't sleep without a fan? And if she does forget it, she's got the fan app on her phone, so it'll be all night long from the phone. You didn't know there was a fan app?
No. No, I fall asleep usually watching, like last night I fell asleep watching a thing about Göbekli Tepe.
Göbekli Tepe?
Göbekli Tepe.
Göbekli?
Göbekli Tepe. Yeah.
Okay.
More fascinating than Stonehenge by tenfold. Older than the pyramids. Possibly the founding villages of Noah after the ark.
Really?
Yeah. They're unbelievable. These things are incredible. And possibly
created by aliens,
foretelling the cataclysm of what happens to when civilizations are destroyed. It's an insane thing. Turkey is fascinating. So Tepe just means hill.
Okay.
And so in Turkey, they're finding all of these places now that they thought were hills, and they run radar over them. They're like, holy cow, there's all sorts of stuff buried here. And then they uncover it, and it's these unreal megalithic temples, these huge stone pillars built into these amazing round structures that tell story. They've got carvings of animals that shouldn't have been in Turkey at that time. Maps of the stars. Crazy stuff, man. There's like 47 pillars at Göbekli, and they thought Göbekli Tepe was the oldest one. The white thing I watched last night was about a thing called Hafran Tepe that they now think is actually older than Göbekli Tepe.
This was right up your alley.
Oh,
this
dude,
I love it.
Absolutely.
This was like porn to you.
It is.
I mean, me, I'll watch real porn. You'll watch and you're just sitting there going, oh.
Watch archaeology and history porn.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I tell you, the chemtrail algorithm has got me. It's got me. So.
Now you just watched or listened to a guy on Rogan that
not Rogan.
I thought it was Rogan.
No, Paul Ryan. Not
Paul
Paul Ryan.
Ryan.
Not Paul Ryan. What's the guy's name? And it's Sean Paul. I'm kidding. It's Sean Ryan, I think is his name.
Who said chemtrails are just chemtrails, right?
It's just planes. Relax. It's just planes. But that guy might have been a psyop too. So.
Oh,
this is what he has. This is what he has to deal with every day, folks. Every day.
To live inside this guy's brain is very difficult. And Ross will call me in the middle of the day, dude, you've got to watch this. And I'm not into this stuff as much as Ross is. So I use Ross as my historian, my astrologer, my fortune teller. He tells me basically when I'm going to die, and then I just accept it. And I'll just take Ross's word for gospel is what I do.
Seriously, if you wanted to have a fun, if you have ever thought about going to go see Stonehenge, or if that was ever fascinating to you, or the pyramids, Göbekli Tepe is like the nectar.
It's I don't know why. Like ancient Greece does not interest me because people have said, "Hey, do you want to go to Greece?" I'm like, I my daughter's been there. My daughter Mary's been there, and she's told me stories about it. And I'm like, yeah, it's not on my bucket list. Stonehenge is not on my bucket list.
Not anymore for me. Not anymore. It's way down the list.
These other sites would be.
Yeah. I'd go to Turkey. I want to go to the pyramids really bad and like check out a bunch of them. Not just the 3 in the Giza plateau, but
whoa. You're telling me there's more than just the Great Pyramid? I just thought it was the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx. There's more out there than that.
First of all, the Great Pyramid has 2 other pyramids right beside it. There's 3 pyramids right behind the Sphinx. There's 3 pyramids, and then there are a dozen more pyramids like that. There's the bent pyramid. There's all sorts.
Tell me how we can get AI and figure out all the and Elon Musk can put 8,000 satellites in the sky to give the entire world the internet, but we can't figure out the riddle that is the Great Pyramids.
Because we just evolved in a different way. Well, our technology went on a different path. Maybe it was the internal combustion engine. Once we started using that, we were like, all right, we can start moving things using this. We're just going to focus on this. And we quit using other things. We quit trying other things. And again, if there are cataclysmic resets of our society, like a great flood, which every single society has a tale of a great flood, every one of them. If there are things like that, like I was talking with Eli about this. You always are all like, Ross, you're a smart guy. You're a smart guy. Let's say things got wiped out and all of a sudden people are like, oh, Ross, you worked in radio for 25 years, man. How do we communicate with people? How do we broadcast something? I have no idea.
All I know is I flip a switch every single day.
I talk into this thing. Can somebody figure out how this thing works?
Yeah, if we had to start all over, I'm not the engineer of record.
That's what happens. And Stone Age for 1,000 years. That's what happens. Gobekli Tepe tells that story. And then they find out, Travis, that place was intentionally buried. Why?
So a natural disaster did not bury it?
No. Those hills that buried these huge temples were buried bucket by bucket, stone by stone.
You mean they didn't have these large dump trucks with like 20-foot tires that went in and dumped dirt on this thing? Bucket by bucket?
That's how I fall asleep is watching.
Where do you find this stuff? Is it on YouTube?
Yeah. One of the guys in the chat mentioned Randall Carlson. He's a historian, archaeologist, something. I don't know.
I had lunch with some former coworkers from the TV station the other day. It was the former general manager, former news director, former managing editor, and the former main anchor. So we all got together for lunch. And the former general manager goes, listen, I get all my information on YouTube. And my former news director goes, you mean YouTube TV? He goes, oh, no, YouTube. And he kind of gave him that look. He goes, once you start, and what happens is, and you'll notice, once you Google it, the algorithm kicks in and you just get information after information, and you can get about anything you want and probably support any opinion you want, right? I mean, you can get,
there's any silo, any echo chamber you want to find, you can get into any of it. Dude, flat Earth is the thing.
I don't get that. I really don't get the flat Earth thing. I mean, we saw it when the dude from Red Bull went up in the hot air balloon and jumped out, and you could see the Earth was round. I mean,
don't know, dude. There are so many.
So I went down a rabbit hole yesterday. And
you did?
I did go down a rabbit hole, and probably more relevant maybe than prehistoric times.
Yeah, right.
And that was, and I said yesterday I have to be in kind of a mood to watch something. Well, I got home yesterday, and the house was empty. Anjanette wasn't here. Greta wasn't here. So I was by myself. And I thought, okay, do I find some skin or do I do something to educate myself? I thought, this might be a good time with nobody here to bring anybody else down, to turn on Max, not Skinamax, just Max, and watch Surviving Ohio State. And so I said, I hit play on Surviving Ohio State.
I have not watched it yet. I'm
going to give away a lot. I'm going to give away a lot because this is worthy of a conversation. First of all, let me say, I went in not knowing, I knew very little. I knew there was a scandal, but I don't think I knew the rabbit hole that was Surviving Ohio State. And let me start by maybe burying or going to the climax, should we say, that say the sad thing about this is I don't think it got the attention that Michigan State got, and it certainly didn't get the attention that Penn State got. And I think what we're seeing in Surviving Ohio State is the difference in sexual abuse when it comes to men as opposed to young women and kids. People just don't look at it the same. It's not right. I just think it's one of these things where people go, you look at these gymnasts and they were young, impressionable women who were being taken advantage of by Larry Nassar at Michigan State. You look at Jerry Sandusky and the pedophile ring that he was a part of, and we're sickened by that, and we should be sickened by that. And we look at Larry Nassar and these young, vulnerable women, and we're sickened by that. We look at macho athletes like wrestlers, like hockey players, like gymnasts, and we go, hold on for a second. You're 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old men. Why didn't you just beat the crap out of this guy as he was fondling you, as he was basically taking advantage of you and in many cases raping you?
Now Travis, because I haven't seen it yet, but I know some of the details of it, right? That this was over multiple sports, correct?
This was not just over. This is where I didn't know the rabbit hole. So Dr. Richard Strauss was the team doctor, and he is the team doctor for basically every sport. Okay. Yes. So it starts with wrestling, but then you find out, oh, he's with the gymnast. He's with the football team. He's with the fencing team. And then you find out, oh my God, he just does this. And when you do the physical, you would go into a room and they would crack jokes like, oh, Doc's going to like you. And it was kind of like that. And these guys would walk out and go, what just happened there? And every time they had to go to the doctor, they would have to drop their drawers and he would test their nuts.
Wasn't there? There's even one story of a guy that was like a hockey player that got hit in the foot.
Yes.
And he goes in to get like an aspirin for the pain. And the first thing the doctor says to him is, drop your trousers.
Drop your trousers. And this was a hockey player from Canada who was on a full ride scholarship, who eventually, Ross, was kicked off the team because he would complain too much. He went to his coach, said, listen, I don't feel comfortable with this. This guy is doing stuff that, and finally the coach said, you're done. He goes, well, what do you mean I'm done? And he goes, you're off the team. He goes, you're just becoming too much of a cancer to be part of this team. And so he was removed, and he talked about how he started drinking, how the depression set in, how he could not go to his parents and say, I got kicked off the team and I lost my scholarship. And he was raped. He actually got raped by Dr. Strauss. So this was absolutely crazy stuff. Now, there's other things that happen. I'm going to give stuff away, and I apologize for this. And if you haven't watched it yet, no matter what I say and the stuff I give, you have to watch it because you realize this is much bigger than I think anybody imagined. When Ohio State did its investigation, it did an internal investigation. It came up with 177 cases that were found during this, 47 rapes. And, Ohio State says, well, statute of limitations. We don't owe you anything because this happened so long ago. That's another thing why probably this wasn't taken as serious as Michigan State and Penn State, because that was like real time. This was 20 years later. So we kind of go, I mean,
the Penn State one wasn't.
Well, but Sandusky was still kind of grooming, even though he was a former assistant coach, he hadn't stopped his ways, right? He was still
true. He was still, yeah, I guess that's fair. He was still alive.
Yeah, he was still alive.
Yeah.
The only coach that complained. So this happened to the hockey team. It happened to every male sports team. Who do you think was the only coach that complained and got something changed?
Who?
It was a female fencing coach who was the head coach of both the male and female fencing teams. Charlotte Remacher was the only one that complained, and nothing happened to her complaint, but she finally got Dr. Strauss removed from him being the team doctor for fencing. And it is just incredible stuff. Now, there's so much more to go down. This Dr. Strauss would shower with all these guys. He had a locker in everybody's locker room. He would shower with every team. And as the athletes said, you know how when you go into the group showers, and I don't have a problem with a group shower. I mean, I grew up with that in high school. You go in, you shower, you get done. Well, most of the time you kind of face the wall. You know, when you're clean, you got the soap on, you're just facing the wall. He would turn around and shower watching everybody. Everybody's like, and he would do that and get an erection at the same time.
What?
Yes. And get an erection at the same time.
Now, come on.
Yes. And they would go like, this is just weird. It's beyond weird. But no athlete, they would go to their coach and they wouldn't do anything. It was just like, it's Doc. It took when he then got removed later on from the athletic department and went to the General Student Services. So he became the doctor for General Student Services. Stephen Snyder Hill was just a regular student. He got fondled, and then he went and formed a complaint. And that he went before a board, and of course he started questioning himself because he said the doctor got mad, said, "You're just trying to ruin my reputation," all this stuff. So he started going, maybe I didn't see it the way I thought I did. Maybe I didn't feel. So he called another doctor and said, listen, if you tell me I'm just seeing things and nobody else has filed a complaint, I'll accept that. And the doctor said, yep, you're the only one who's complained. He goes, okay, I want that in writing. They paused a little bit and they wrote him a letter that said, hey, here's what it is. You're the only one who complained. We don't have any previous complaints. Well, that was a lie. That was a lie. And it is crazy, crazy stuff. Here's the sad part. You know who another one. It was after a wrestling meet. And Frederick Feeney is an official. He was the referee, the official for the wrestling meet between Wisconsin or Ohio State and somebody. He goes, I'm one of these officials that I need to get out of the arena because nothing good happens because somebody's always mad. Right. So he goes in. This is the official, not a student athlete. This is the official, and he's interviewed during this. He goes in and he goes, I'm going to take a shower. And he walks into the locker room, and Dr. Strauss is in there. He goes, hey, Dr. Strauss, what's going on? Hey, good to see you, blah, blah, blah. He goes, I thought it was weird that I'm getting undressed and getting ready for the shower, and Dr. Strauss gets undressed and starts getting ready. He goes, this is a little weird. And he stayed by him as they were getting undressed. And he gets into the shower, which is one of these group showers. He goes, it was really weird that they have all these shower heads and he stands right by him. Now, this is a grown man, an official. And this just shows you how the male brain thinks, because I think males don't want to say anything. They're just like, whatever, It's that machismo, weird, right? Man.
Yeah.
He goes, all of a sudden I look down and he's masturbating.
What?
Yes, he's masturbating. He goes, "This is weird."
That's beyond weird now.
Beyond weird. No, here's where it gets weirder.
Oh, Jesus.
This official is showering. He goes, "I got to hurry up." All of a sudden, he just turns around. He's like washing his hair and stuff. And he starts fondling his ass.
Dude, come on.
I can't make this stuff up. I cannot make this stuff up. This is what's in the and the official didn't do anything. He went out and he told Russ Hellickson, who is the wrestling coach, very good wrestling coach, said, "Hey, Strauss is in there masturbating in the shower." And he just kind of went, Doc, you know. So you go through all this and you come to, you find out who I think are the two worst human beings here. Well, Strauss is the worst.
Yes.
Strauss is the worst. The two worst human beings here are that once it becomes public in like 2017, 2018, you have these wrestlers and other athletes come forward and say, "Hey, we're going to tell our story now because we need to tell our story." And I need to clarify that these athletes still love the Ohio State, right? I mean, they're going, "Hey, we're not here to bring down Ohio State. We're here to tell, we love Ohio State. We are Buckeyes." Russ Hellickson is a famed wrestling coach. He is. He's a famed former Olympian, very good wrestling coach. Do you know who his assistant was during that time?
No.
Jim Jordan.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I knew about this connection here. Okay.
Jim Jordan. Russ Hellickson and Jim Jordan are two really bad human beings. They come forward and Russ Hellickson gets together and they tell their stories to Russ. He goes, "I'm going to help you out. I'm going to write a letter. I'm going to, he listens to everybody, says this." They go to Jim Jordan, who's a member of Congress now. Jim Jordan says, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't know about any of this." They're like, "Coach, we told you." No, nobody ever told me anything. I know nothing. So then Jordan started calling these athletes saying, "Hey, you know, I don't know anything, you know, don't do this." He got a hold of Hellickson, and Hellickson ghosted everybody, did not follow through on what he has said he was going to do. And so these athletes who felt betrayed as athletes now are betrayed as adults, and they have no respect for their coach. They have zero respect for Jim Jordan. And you watch Jim Jordan and you're just like, dude, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Now, unfortunately, Strauss killed himself in 2005. Hung himself when he was out in California. But I'm telling you, Ross, this rabbit, and people are mad and say I'm giving stuff away. I'm not. I gave a lot away, but you still have to watch it because it is absolutely amazing. Amazing. Why is it, though, in the bigger scope of things, we view sexual abuse against males, and hell, I'm guilty of it. I'll be the first one to say I'm guilty of it. Than we do women and kids, because I'll joke about, you know, like when a male teacher gets caught with a female student, you're like, "Oh my God, that's gross." When a 17-year-old male student gets caught with a teacher, like, "Well, what does she look like?" You know, I mean, I'm guilty of it.
I think in a way, maybe we all are, Travis, and women and children should be held in higher regard. Children especially can't defend themselves. That's an indefensible. A lot of times women are in that vulnerable position of not being able to defend themselves in situations like this. So I think we look at those different, and we just assume, because man, the male ego, we all think the same thing. Like, "Oh, I'd kick that guy's ass." Think about, this is an NCAA wrestling official. I don't need to say anything more to know that guy would kick 99% of our asses. And that happens to him, and his thought is not, again, I think you said it right, Travis. I trust people. I like people. My instinct would be, oh, God, this guy's weird. But the masturbating thing, like you turn around, that's happening. I think that's the point where you're like, what the is happening here, man? I got to get out of this place. Here, the conversation I would like to have, though, about the differences and how we respond to this, Travis. Think of how many. Go ahead. Good. Sorry.
Can you hold on to that because we got to take a break?
Oh,
hang,
yeah.
Hang on to that.
Sorry, I didn't realize.
We're going to talk about. We're going to continue this conversation. We're going to talk about, and we're going to kind of talk about the differences when we come back between the males, females, kids, and then Ohio State, Michigan State, Penn State, all that when we come back on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Brennan Santone here with Willis Cadillac. It is officially summer. Behind me I have a beautiful CT5 Blackwing with over 600 horsepower and drift metallic. It is available on our show floor. We also have EV Conquest on all of our EV models. We do have some lease loyalty just for owning a 2012 or newer Cadillac as well. And also we have gotten several new CT4s and 5s in. Come check out this summer what we got going on over at our Clive location, or check us out at williscadillac.com.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Summer's here, and that means extra miles on your car. With road trips, summer activities, and more, stop in now and get a vehicle inspection to make sure your Land Rover is in the best shape possible. We'll even throw in $25 off an oil change. Give us a call or head online at LandRoverDesMoines.com to schedule your appointment today.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive, on a deep dive discussion on surviving Ohio State this morning. And we're transitioning into what was one of the kind of it wasn't a major theme, but it really comes out of that documentary, which you can watch on Max, is how we view abuse differently when it happens to males, especially grown men, as opposed to teenage girls, college-age girls, or kids. And this was the case in the Ohio State thing. And just following along on the chat, you know, people are mad at how much I gave away. I said, there's so much more than this. I mean, I really gave the highlights. But, you know, men are different. They're just different. We talked about the shame that these guys felt. And you know, when you're on a full-ride scholarship, Ross, you want to keep that scholarship. You want to be part of that. Dan Ritchie was a wrestler. He wrestled for 3 years. He walked away his senior year because he goes, I just can't take it anymore. I just can't take it anymore. And his dad, and he never told his dad what happened. And so he said it ruined his relationship, not ruined, but damaged his relationship with his dad, because his dad never understood why you would walk away from a collegiate career and not finish school at the Ohio State University. But you were getting ready to transition into the difference between, how we view men, women, and kids different when it comes to something like this.
But I'm glad that you said those things, Travis, because you added a few more arrows to my quiver here. When you say, think of the shame that these men felt, that they were afraid of losing their scholarships. That's exactly what those women went through at Michigan State and with Larry Nassar. Exactly the same thing. The shame. They went to their coaches. They said, "Hey, this thing's happening." They were told, "Shut up." They went to Bella Carosi, and they were told, "Just shut up. Just, do you want to play? Do you want to play? Do you want to be part of the team? If you're going to be part of the team, this is what we do on our team: is you go there and you pull your pants down when your foot gets hurt. You want an aspirin? Got to let him fondle you. That's how we do things at the Ohio State." And again, so those women went through that exact same thing. How many people, not just men, when the Larry Nassar thing started to break and these women started to come forward and say, 15 years ago, this happened to me. How often did we hear, oh, and you're just now coming out? So you were sexually assaulted a decade ago, and now you're saying something. That's convenient. Yeah. Yeah, it takes a long time for somebody to go, okay, I got the guts to do this. I'm going to blow up everything. My dad, who thinks I'm the greatest athlete in the world and I got a full ride scholarship to the Ohio State University. And now I have to go and tell him that I got assaulted by some doctor. And I didn't kick his ass, because my dad's going to have the same reaction that people on the chat did, that a lot of men do. Why did you? I'd have beat the shit out of that guy. That's what I'd have done. Maybe 1% of people are like that would have actually turned but most people, as you can see from the evidence, handled it this way. It takes a day or two and you go, this is freaking weird, man. That ain't normal. Wanted an aspirin. The guy fondled me. Coach, something's weird here. And then your coach, who's got all the power over you at that time, says, the hell are you talking about?
It's just Doc. So you're coming from a position of power with the doctor. I mean, you walk in, you've got the Harvard, the University of Chicago diplomas on the wall. We're talking prestigious universities. You're like, you went to Harvard, you went to Chicago University, so you got a position of power there. You go to your coach, who's the ultimate authority. It's just Strauss.
Yeah, it's I'm gonna have to watch it, man. I'm not mad that you gave too much away. I'm mad that you ruined my Wednesday morning at 6:15, bastard.
Oh, that's what I do. It was rain.
I do. I piss on people's brains.
And again, the crazy thing about this is when I go back, and this is what I thought the whole time. This has all been public record for the last 5 to almost 10 years, right? It's not that there's anything new. It's just put in a 2-hour documentary where it all rolls together. But I could tell you a lot more about the Larry Nassar case, which was dominated on ESPN.com or CBS.com, all the major outlets. The Ohio State one got some play, but not as much.
Not nearly as much as Penn State and Michigan State.
No, not even close. And I think time played a factor into that. I think being males played a factor into that. It'll be interesting, Ross, to see how Jim Jordan comes back from this. In meaning that, I mean, he'll never be Speaker of the House, ever, because of this. But when re-election happens, what the state of Ohio will do to Jim Jordan and his district, because he is not painted in a good light on this. And this is not a blue thing. This is an integrity thing. Yeah. This is do the right thing. And he looks really bad in this.
Can I prepare you?
Yeah.
Politics will always disappoint you. I've learned that. Politics will always disappoint you. So what does that mean? What does that mean? It means he'll probably still get reelected because, that R is more important than anything else. And if he doesn't get reelected, the guy behind him ain't going to be no better. Whoever comes in and takes his place is just going to have the same ghosts or not same stuff. Not same stuff. We all carry around a different suitcase of crazy.
I think the lesson learned here is we touched on this briefly yesterday, and that is don't think that your university is better than another. And don't put anybody or anything on a pedestal. You like to use the word pedestal a lot. Just you can have pride in your university. You can like your teams, but if something like this were to happen to your favorite school, don't go, I'm totally surprised. Because just when you think it's not going to happen again, it happens again. You're like,
and by the way, you would, if this happened to your university, you would react the exact same way that Penn State fans, that Michigan State fans, that Ohio State fans have reacted. Your initial reaction would be to deny it. Not my team, not my school. That didn't happen there. Then to downplay it. Okay, it might have happened, but come on. Oh, some guys got their butts touched. And then that, again, takes a long time for a person to go, man, I kind of supported that in a way. I bought gear that helped pay that guy's paycheck. Yuck.
Now, Jay points out, Jordan's been reelected multiple times since this came out. You're not wrong, but this is packaged differently, right? I mean, it is packaged differently.
It is, Travis, like you said, this has all been public information. Most people weren't even aware of the scandal at all. I even, having paid attention a little bit, didn't know a lot of the details. The fact that they really do paint Jim, excuse me, they really are able to paint Jim Jordan as kind of the antagonist again in this story. That maybe that changes it. I'm with Jay, though. I'm just going to warn everybody that would look at this and go, oh, this means we finally get to clean things up. We'll see.
What do you think about this statute of limitations? Now, the original court, so they offered a settlement, and they decided not to take the settlement because, like at Michigan State and Penn State, the settlements were a lot more, right? So I think every athlete at Michigan State got like $1.5 million. In the Ohio State one, it came out to like $250,000. And they're like, we're not going to take that, because it's not the same. And Dan Ritchie said, do I want the money? He goes, yeah, I do. He goes, not because I want to be rich off it. He goes, I want to send a message, and we're just not going to take the low ball offer. And the Ohio State University is still trying to fight it.
I hate that more. So anyway, what was your question about that? I don't understand.
I'm just saying, I mean, Ohio State is saying, well, come on, man. It happened back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. The statute of limitations is 2 years in Ohio State, in the state of Ohio. So you're just SOL.
Yeah. Okay. And you're asking how I feel about that? I think that's crap, obviously. Well, are we going to talk about the Croto thing at some point? Because that's another example of like how laws in different states affect people differently.
Let's just transition to that. So I called you yesterday, and I was reading the Des Moines Register yesterday, and there was this wonderful article. And I'm somewhat complicit in this. Maybe we both are. In the fact that, at the old place, Croto was an advertiser on the station. We did live reads for Croto. I did. And, it shows you kind of what you'll do for money. And the fact is, they're an advertiser. Like, hey, these guys want to advertise. And you're like, okay. But I would get messages all the time. Why are you sponsoring? They Croto preys upon people. This
is the messages you'd receive from people.
This is the message I would receive. I'm not saying that they do. These are just the messages that I receive.
Yep. People would call them a Yeah. Okay. Anyway, people had bad things to say about Croto. I remember this.
Yes. And then I see this article yesterday in the Des Moines Register featuring Chris Costa. Now, Chris Costa may not be a household name in Central Iowa, but Chris Costa has a lot of power.
He's a bigwig.
He's a bigwig.
Heavy hitter.
Heavy hitter. And Chris Costa, for those of you who don't know, is the president and CEO of Knapp Properties. Knapp Properties. Ross, you're in the real estate world. I know you're not in the commercial real estate world. Nat Property is a pretty big deal.
Huge.
Nat Properties.
I'm going to guess one of the largest in the area, if not the largest.
Nat Properties actually contracts with Croto on all their, not all of them, but many of their apartment complexes, shopping malls, all that stuff to be the tow truck of choice. Well, Costa's kid had his car towed, and the kid, which is normal, right, doesn't want to tell mom and dad, tries to come up with the money, can't come up with the money to get the car out of impound. I need to clarify something. I believe this happened on a private lot, not a public lot, because there's a difference between private and public lots and what can happen.
Yep.
Well, Croto sends a registered letter. Costa didn't go down and pick it up. Finally shows up on like the 14th of April to find out this is going on. The car is paid for because he's the president and CEO of Nat Properties. You can write a check for like $26,000 and pay for your Honda CRV.
Money.
Calls to get the car out, and his car's been sold because after 10 days, it's become unclaimed property, and you can just sell it, and the proceeds go all to. I'm like, 10 days? 10 days to sell a car? And by the way, you can blame Croto. You have to blame the law in Iowa that allows this to happen. It's a bad law. It is a bad, bad law. But he gets, I mean, I'm paraphrasing here and kind of shortening it, but Costa calls Croto and says, kind of explains the situation. I don't think they knew who he was at that point. Says, well, we're going to have a problem. And then explains who he is. And miraculously, Ross, after being told the car was sold, boom, they find the car and he gets his car back. Showing that having a little bit of power does matter.
Oh, dude, there's so much more to this.
Yes.
They were able to eventually get the car back by writing a check to Croto for $1,500. Nobody else gets to write a check to Croto.
No, it's credit card. It was credit
card. Sorry, yeah. They paid with credit card. Nobody else gets to pay with credit card. You have to pay with cash to get your car out of impound. He was able to pay with credit card. His wife was.
With a fee, as they pointed out, with a fee, they had to pay
about $1,500 they had to pay to get the car back. The car could have sold the day that it was towed. It could have sold for over $20,000 on Kelley Blue Book.
And because it was because it was a private lot, all that cash and proceeds go to Croto.
So Croto has a contract to go check out properties and make sure that no cars are parked illegally. They're paid by the property manager to go and police the parking lot. And we've all seen it. My ex-wife lives in a property that Croto
and
runs.
I bet they police that on a regular basis.
Dude. The drivers will pull in and jump out and walk through the parking lot with a flashlight. They're not waiting for a phone call that says, hey, there's a car parked illegally. There's a car with no light. Our parking lot is full. There's tons of empty spots. They're just out there sniping. You watch them walk around looking for something that a car they can pick up. It's their job. They're paid by the property managers to be the police department for the parking lot. So now let's take that next step. Now they find this car. It's parked illegally. They pick it up. 10 days to notify the owner. The state law, Travis, you're nailing it. It's the law, and more important, the lobbyists. Like, we all get mad at the politicians because they're the ones that fold over and allow this stuff. But it's the lobbyists that are down there every day. Croto has a lobbyist. Croto pays a guy. It's worth it. They make money by paying an individual to go down to the state house who knows all the politicians, who helped people get elected, and go down there and go, hey, guys, you know who you really need to help out? You know what laws really need to be on the books? Croto laws. These poor towing companies, they can barely survive. So they got to be able to pick up a car, sell it in 10 days, recoup all of the proceeds, because let's be honest, most of these cars that get towed, they're only worth $380 anyway. That's the price of a tow. And they got to be able to recoup that. And then there's office work and there's all sorts of stuff. Come on, fellas, write the law. That's who's to blame here.
And here's another flaw in the law. And I think the Register used this in a reference Michigan. When this happens in Michigan, the proceeds from the car go back to the original owner.
Yes. So, yes. They're saved in an account.
That's not the case.
No.
It goes to Croto.
Croto has earned their reputation, dude. Like when you're getting those phone calls from people that are screaming, I got the same. I mean, people used to call me and be like, dude, why are they pushing for Croto? I go, we work for a corporation, dude. I had to do ads for Betfred.
Yeah.
Bite your freaking lip and do it, man. We got to pay the bills. And that's the same. I mean, we all work for a company. Well, not anymore.
Yeah, we work for ourselves.
You and I get to do this now. Don't have to do that. Just got to be careful what we say, so we get our ass sued.
Well, at the end of the day, we've had advertising opportunities come to us, and we're like, yeah, it's probably not a good fit, right? I mean, before we didn't have that real luxury to say no, because
it was no, never. Makes my lip curl.
I mean, I remember about 2 or 3 months ago, you'd called me and said, hey, I got to go. Your ex-wife just had her car towed and you had to go get it out of impound. I believe she.
Oh yeah, that was a while back. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was a while back. But it's what. And here's another problem. And I've had a car towed before. It is that cash transaction. A lot of times you don't have the funds available. You're like, crap, I got to go, right? I got to go do this.
Think about yeah. So it's a wild article. It's a really fun, and then the video of him talking about his phone call to Croto, and it's all on the Register.
And by the way, he handles this like a real CEO. And he states, listen, the problem is with the law.
Yep.
And that's so. I mean, yes, Croto's working within the law, but I would say with very little empathy or sympathy.
And again, let's tell the whole story here. Yes, they're working within the law that they paid a lobbyist to create. Ever heard of Machiavelli?
Yes.
This is Machiavelli.
And Costa's goal now is to help get said law changed. And again, he's handled it calmly. I mean, you watch the video, you're like, oh, you're calm. He wasn't mad. I'm sure he was mad, but I think he recognized and I'm glad what he said.
My kid made a mistake.
Yes.
And
but
this
I also
law
think
sucks.
he pointed out, he goes, I realized at that point that there is a difference between the haves and the have-nots, meaning if he wasn't Chris Costa, this would not have happened. If he was not the CEO of one of the largest property owners and managers in the state of Iowa, this wouldn't have happened because, you contract.
Yeah, because I hold your purse strings.
Yes.
Well, I can get that car back for you. By the way, he was told before the actual deadline. He was told before the 10-day deal that the car had been sold, and then magically the next day it was on a tow truck, which he also had to pay for that premium tow to get the car back that they should not have ever let out of their possession. Huh?
No, I understand if a car's sitting on your lot for like 6 months, they're probably not going to come get it, right? And then I'm okay with that. 10 days?
A $20,000 car? And again, I think to his point, how many people have had this happen and aren't Chris Costa? Can't make a phone call. They call
hundreds,
Croto,
if not thousands.
and Croto goes, tough titty. And again, we keep saying Croto because that's who's in this particular article. This is a law for all towing companies to do this.
Yes, we need to point that out. It's probably just not Croto here. They're the ones who are being pointed out here, and they're probably the most visible in Des Moines and Central Iowa. Now, they have a contract with the city of Des Moines. They have a contract with most property owners in the city. When it comes to that private property stuff, That's what always kind of interests me, because normally, I mean, they are driving in and out all the time. Usually, in my experience, is like the property owner would call and say, "Hey, can you get this car out of here? They're not part." You know what I mean? Usually it takes a complaint to get a car towed. Oh, no. You don't have your sticker. You don't have your windshield thing. You're gone. $300 or whatever it costs to get your car out. Oh, crazy stuff, isn't it? It just messed up.
Yeah, when you sent that one to me yesterday, reading through that one's a wild ride, because...
Well, you know who's just as bad, and I never understood this. Our pawn shop owners. I don't know what it's like in Iowa, but like here, if I have my lawnmower stolen and it goes to the pawn shop and I go and say, "That's my lawnmower. I've got the number and everything." Oh, that's great. I've already paid somebody for it. You have to pay for said mower again. Or if your bicycle's stolen, you just don't get your stolen property back. You've got to pay for your stolen property.
I know Sergeant Prezik has told me that the Des Moines Police Department has a really good relationship with the pawn shop owners in town. And I think, Travis, that for the most, not like every purchase, but I think any time that they get a suspicion that they have stolen property, pawn shop owners in Des Moines reach. I believe that to be the case. I could ask Sergeant Prezik again. I'm out of my wheelhouse there. Most thing I know about pawn shops is what Sublime told me.
What'd Sublime tell you?
Down here at the pawn shop.
That's it? That's all I told you?
How to groove.
I never got into Sublime. Am I missing something with Sublime?
Dude, it's a reggae, hip hop, pop music amalgamation. I don't know. I liked it. Spoke to me when I was 20 years old and driving around in my Jeep Wrangler with the top off.
And then it went boom and caught on fire.
It did. I listened to a lot of Bob Dylan then too.
515-517-2303. If we've talked about anything this morning that brings something home for you, we'd love to hear from you and hear your stories. Again, 515-517-2303. We got an hour in the books. We got an hour to go. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hey everybody, Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Willis Infinity. We have some great stuff going on this month. Right now you can get $4,000 off a brand new QX80, 2.9% out to 60 months. On top of that, QX60s are doing 1.9 clear out to 60 months, 2.9 at 72, and even an incentivized rate at 4.9 at 84 months. For more information, come see us in our showroom or visit us online at willisinfinity.com.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time homebuyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Summer's here, and that can mean extra miles on your car. With road trips, summer activities, and more, your Volvo will endure extra strain. Stop in now and get a vehicle inspection to make sure your Volvo is in the best shape possible. We'll even throw in $25 off an oil change. Give us a call or head online to willisvolvocars.com to get scheduled today.
Bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by our good friends at Willis Automotive. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Make sure to download the TuneIn app. It's a wonderful app. You can just search the Rush Radio Show, bookmark our show, and then you can listen to us on Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, wherever you are. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video, start leaving your comments if YouTube is your preferred choice of listening and, in many cases, watching. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. Got an hour in the books. We got an hour to go. We want to tell you, however, the 4th of July is right around the corner. And our good buddy Wade Peterson at the Iowa Fireworks Farm has a bumper crop of boomers at dirt cheap prices. And as we get closer to the 4th, you're going, I need some fireworks. I need to throw a party. And we are telling you, go to the Iowa Fireworks Farm.
Super easy. We've got the answer for you. Do you love America? Do you want to show people that you love America? Yes. Yes is the answer to those questions. We made it easy. Go down and see Wade, Iowa Fireworks Farm. About 25, 30-minute drive straight south on I-35, New Virginia exit. Go down and check out a bunch of the products. He's going to be with us on Friday. And is he planning on being from the warehouse?
He's going to be from the warehouse, he says. He's going to be, now, I don't know how much we see because we condense, but...
yeah, but maybe even just sparklers.
Yes.
Hey, guys.
Or he can hold a Roman candle. And like, I like Roman candles.
I do too. I'm a big Roman candle fan. Those are fun.
For some reason, I like stupid smoke bombs, right? I just like, oh my God, look at the smoke. It's green. It's blue. It's
so
red.
much smoke. Did you guys see how much smoke that was?
Snakes. I still can't figure out how you set this little charcoal cube on fire and it just spits out like a snake.
So now, you know what they've done with the snake now, Travis?
No.
Oh, it's brilliant for the kids. Brilliant. They've taken the snake game to a whole new level. Okay?
Really?
Yeah, they put the snake inside of a little cardboard-looking dog.
And it poops.
It poops! You light on fire and the dog poops in your driveway.
You know, I like those little tanks. You've ever seen that? It has like a firecracker on the end. It's just, you light it, it goes like 4 feet and just stops. It goes pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
And then you're like, that was cool. So simple.
And how is it
like
that
50 cents?
Every single one of us, I think man, woman, or child, we're a man, woman as children. Those little bang snaps. Come on.
And throwing them at
you
people.
Just throw them and they pop. You just throw them, they pop. And even as an adult, I don't know if you can actually hold one without going, I got to do this.
Pop. You ever snap one in your fingers?
No.
Just for the hell of it?
No, I like to take like 8 of them and throw them down at once. It goes, pop, pop. Yeah, that was fun.
If you're a little, if you're like, oh, well, how much can I afford? Well, we want to help you out a little bit. And that is, we want to give you a $50 gift certificate to the Iowa Fireworks Farm. And so if you go to therushradio.com, click on the promotions tab, put your name, your telephone number, your email in there, you could be a lucky winner of a $50 gift certificate. We've given away, I believe, 3 already. We got 1 more to give away. And then next week, we'll be giving away a grand prize, which is a $700 assortment of fireworks from the Iowa Fireworks Farm. We're calling it the Godfather. And Wade is putting a whole package together, and you're going to be able to celebrate the 4th of July in style with the Iowa Fireworks Farm. So get your fireworks right there at the Iowa Fireworks Farm.
The Godfather.
The Godfather. There's just something about saying that. I do want to get Todd over at Central City Liquors a shirt that says the Todd Father on it.
I like that idea.
with how they have the little puppet thing, but we have like the marionette with bottles of bourbon on it. It's 25. It's 25. I know you were up late watching Rabbit Hole prehistoric.
Go back to Tepe. Yeah. You got to learn about the Younger Dryas Impact event and all these other fun things.
Did you? So I take it you didn't take time to watch the Indiana Fever playing at Seattle.
Did not.
Did you miss that?
Didn't miss it, but I didn't watch it.
Oh, Ross. Quick on the draw right there. It's like I put that on a tee for you, and
I
you
saw
just
it
hit
coming.
Yeah, he was coming from a mile away. It was like a slow hanging curveball. You're like, oh, I'm going to hit this one out of the park.
Yeah, but no, I didn't watch it.
Caitlin Clark's shooting woes continue.
Yeah,
she had 6 points. She was 3 of 13 from the field, 0 of 6 from behind the 3-point line. I think she's 1 of 23 in the last 3 games from the 3-point line. Sophomore slump, shooting slump. Now, she still had 9 assists. She had 8 turnovers last night, which is pretty high. But they did win. Had a disastrous fourth quarter like they've had on their road trips lately. But were able to hold off Seattle 94-86. Aaliyah Boston with a game high or a career high 31 points. But let's go back to Caitlin Clark because she's the face of the WNBA. Does her slump hurt her? Does it normalize her? Does it?
Yeah, good word. Good word. That second one. I think it normalizes her, right? We talked about this when we were going towards Oakmont in the U.S. Open. Do we like to watch these guys throw up decent numbers? Do you want to see a major where the winner is 12 under or where the winner is 1 under?
We like to see 12 under. I do anyway.
Yeah. I like to see 12 under as well. But there's something about watching them do it and go, I don't know. I don't know what it is that. First of all, they won the game, so that helps.
Yes.
This is very uncharacteristic for her to have 3 games in a row like this, where she's shooting like that. But again, it's gonna come around. I mean. It's not like
we're all waiting for it, right? We're anticipating when she breaks out of this. And there will be a game where she just absolutely explodes. But 3 games in a row, you're like, back to earth.
They got a couple things happening off the court, right? I mean, I'm paying attention to enough to know that remember we talked about Bonner becoming the 4th leading scorer in WNBA history. And then I noticed the other day that she retired.
No, she hasn't retired yet. She is on leave for personal reasons. And there was a report on CBSSports.com this morning that says DeWanna Bonner wants out of Indiana.
Okay.
She either wants to go to Dallas or she wants to go to Phoenix. But they're saying, and these are the reports, that it hasn't been a good fit with Indiana from day one. It's just been, and then when she got taken out of the starting lineup, it was like, well, what am I doing here? And so, but they brought her in because one of her experience, she's been on championship teams before. She's 38 years old. She's got height, added some depth in the front court. But you're missing. She's now sat out the last 5 games for personal reasons. So there's that. She's 38. I think what you're seeing is there's a possibility of retirement, but there's the possibility of being traded. But or they could just waive her and let her go. But Indiana's given her like $200,000, which is the max near the max contract. So you're on the hook for that. But that creates a little division, I would think, right?
Yeah.
Where you're like, hey, we brought you in to perform. I'm sorry you're not satisfied, but suck it up and go out and play. And then you have Stephanie White, who's missed a couple games because of personal reasons. Understandable. But when you don't have your coach there all the time, when you have a player that is supposed to be a key piece in driving you to a championship, not performing and now not playing, that adds a new dynamic.
And Caitlin Clark is 1 for 23.
Yes.
Okay. And they won.
And they won.
That's impressive. That's impressive. I think that's.
I mean, it doesn't hurt Caitlin Clark's marketability at all, but when people pay money, they want to see
a show.
They want to see a show.
Travis, and we've always said that's the amazing thing about Caitlin is that she always delivered. You've got 3 games in a row here where you haven't quite delivered in that way. So
the Fever now 7-7. They come back home to play the LA Sparks on Thursday, then go to Dallas on Friday. So it's back-to-back games. We'll see if Caitlin Clark can get out of her slump sometime soon so people can go, see, she's back.
Yeah.
She's back.
She's back, baby.
That's right.
Dude, I love the I don't know what has made me think of this. I saw one of our commenters just being silly over here and and trolling, and he was like, she probably got a bad batch of steroids. That's what it was. Just being silly, right?
I hope so.
Oh, gee, he's a Hawkeye fan. He's being silly. He's being silly. Do you remember, Travis? Do you remember the rumor we heard about Nate Stanley?
No.
You don't remember
Why don't I remember this? I'm getting old, so I don't remember that stuff.
Somebody told us that Nate Stanley, we never report. I mean, obviously, never said anything on the air because who was it? Man, somebody with told us Nate Stanley was blind in one eye. Didn't have depth perception because had bad depth perception because he was blind in one eye. And to this day, I'm like, that guy was that was like a test to see if we would say it.
If we take the bait.
And then they would know that we were a leak. You know what I mean? I swear to God. I was like, that can't be true. The NFL would find that out.
Wouldn't you be able to, as you're interviewing a guy, to be able to tell if you're blind?
I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway.
You ever do that? You ever drive down the road and just cover up an eye and see what that would be like? I did that the other day. I'm like, oh, this would suck to drive like this. So then I open my other eye. I go, okay, I'm good. You don't do that?
Do you ever drive down the road and
Just
cover
up
one
an eye.
I have an uncle with a glass eye.
Can he take it out?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. My dad shot it out as a kid. We don't know the exact story of how. But
really?
Yeah.
BB gun?
We don't know. I just said we don't know the story. We don't know. We've heard 9 stories in my lifetime, but I don't know. But yeah, that's so he can put my uncle used to take it out and put it in people's drinks. Be drinking your vodka tonic, look down, there's an eyeball staring back at you.
I had a buddy that did that to his brother. Now, my friend's in his 70s, and we went to Italy together, and he told us the story because we were talking about his brother. I go, how'd your brother lose his eyesight? He goes, it's a bad story. I go, what? He goes, I shot him as a kid. I go, what? He goes, I go, with a BB gun? He goes, no, bow and arrow.
Who? This was Pat?
No, different.
Oh, okay.
Pat's not in his 70s. Looks like he's in his 70s, but not in his 70s.
My dad will tell you a lot of stories about his life. That's one I've never. It's just I don't want. He's probably, if he ever hears. I mean, he doesn't listen to the show anymore.
He doesn't?
I don't think so. Every now and again, I think it got hard for him. He was telling me the other day, he's like, I tried to listen, and it was when your internet was bad. Yeah. And it kept resetting. The beginning of the show kept replaying for him. I think he must have been watching it on the Rush Radio or something. I don't know. I meant to call you and tell you, hey, this happened to Dad today, but
interesting.
I love it that you ever drive down the road and cover one eye. Don't remember doing that.
I got some window time today and a straight shot. I might just do that right around.
Right camera? Left camera.
If you were to lose an eye, would you rather lose your left or your right?
One of my eyes is better than the other. Hold on, I can tell you. My left eye is better than my right eye. And I know that because my right eye, this is like a Coke bottle in this lens.
Do you have the progressives yet?
Yes.
So do I.
Yeah,
The good
but
thing
man,
is there are no lines in there anymore.
I'll tell you what, the contacts is a different game right now. Because I put the contacts in, dude, and I have to do the thing like when I have to go like.
See, you're lucky that way is that you can pull off I mean, look at me without glasses. See, you start laughing because I wear them all the time. I wore contacts like my freshman year in college, and they dried my eyes out, and I took them out, and I've never put them back in. I'm just not a contacts guy. So I've always gone with glasses.
I like how Eugene Levy, every time he takes his glasses off, he crosses his eyes. Have you?
I interviewed for a job in Texas one time, and the news director goes, "Hey, we're going to bring you in to meet the general manager, but could you do me a favor? Don't wear glasses." I'm like, "Excuse me?" He goes, "Yeah. My general manager won't want you to wear glasses." I'm like, "Well, I wear glasses on the air." Yeah, we want you to wear contacts. And I'm like, I don't think this job's for me. I turned down a lot of jobs when I was unemployed because they were low paying.
The balls on this guy. I'm telling you, it's admirable.
Well, okay.
When I'm unemployed, I'm diving for loose balls.
I was offered a job in Grand Junction, Colorado, where, and I've told this story before, but it's worth repeating if you've never heard it, is where they actually told me the scenery in Grand Junction was part of my salary. They offered me $11,500 a year. I'm like, I can't move to Grand Junction. I go, what do other employees do to make up for the financial gap? Well, we got a lot of people working at Walmart and some other places just to make ends meet. I go, hold on, you're anchoring the news one night and you're checking people out at Walmart. Nothing against a Walmart checker, but you can't do that, right? The one down in Texas, I forget what town it was. And I go to the news director. I go, it paid a little bit more. I think it was like 16, 17,000. And this was in the early 90s. And just to let everybody know, broadcasting is not a high paying gig. Unless you
breaking news.
Unless you become like a Keith Murphy or somebody like somebody big in the community where they want to pay to keep you around. And I asked the news director, I go, what's rent like in where you're at? He goes, I don't know. I go, oh, you just own your house? He goes, no, I live in a week-to-week motel. And I'm like, if I tell my wife, who didn't like Wausau, Wisconsin all that much, that we're going to move to Texas and live in a week-to-week motel.
What do you do when rents due? Just look out that window for a while. That'll pay the rent for you.
Yeah, you know what rent is because on the neon sign it says, $225 a week.
Look at that. Kevin Lex is in Grand Junction right now.
Wow.
That's wild. Very cool.
Wild.
That's super cool.
Very, very wild.
Man, because that's beautiful though, right? I mean, when they say the scenery is part of, when you said I got offered a job in Grand Junction, am I picturing the right thing? Am I picturing like mountain town?
Well, you're getting closer to what, Utah or Idaho. So it's a little more canyon-like, I believe, in Grand Junction. But yeah, you're talking, you're still, kind of in the Rocky Mountains and stuff like that. Just different.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but scenery doesn't pay the bills, Ross.
You're right about that. Okay,
Scenery
and it's like Western Colorado, out by Utah.
Yeah.
Colorado.
Extreme Western.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Yeah, cool.
One of the best deals in sports may have went down yesterday. The NBA approved the sale of the Minnesota Timberwolves to Alex Rodriguez and his group. They get the Timberwolves and the Minnesota Lynx for $1.5 billion. That's a lot of money. But, the owner of the Timberwolves tried to back out of the deal because the valuation of the Timberwolves had gone up to well over $3 billion. And so these guys picked this team up for $1.5 billion. The Lakers were just recently valued at $10 billion. And so they approved the sale. They get this team for 1.5, which is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I not too many people, probably nobody listening to the show right now can come up with that kind of cash.
You kidding? $1.5 billion?
Well, there might be a really rich person listening to the show. We don't
Not
know.
$1.5 billion.
Never know. There might be somebody who holds on to some good Berkshire Hathaway stock or something like that. I'm playing the odds here that there might be a billionaire listening to the show. Maybe, maybe not.
Rev says an Iowan bought the Lakers, so maybe that Iowan's listening.
But you already pick it up for $1.5 billion, and your team's already worth well over $3 billion. That's a pretty good transaction.
Yeah, it's a lot of equity you're buying into, right there.
No kidding. No kidding.
A-Rod, go ahead. I was just going to ask what the Lynx side of this, because you said it was the Wolves and the Lynx.
So the Lynx part of this is valued at $294 million. So which is a lot of money just for a WNBA franchise.
Yeah.
But and what's happening now is you're looking at it going, okay, the Timberwolves is a pretty darn good team. You have equity there. The WNBA is rising.
Growing.
That's probably only going to go up with the new TV deal. And the Lynx are one of the best teams in the WNBA. So you look at it and go, man, it's rare that you go, boy, you got to steal at $1.5 billion.
But really, you bought the Wolves for 1.2.
Yeah.
And it's worth almost 3 times that right now. If you do that math, the Lynx, that seems about right. I mean, $250 million might even, that, I'll be honest, that feels a little bit high to me for a WNBA valuation. Do they? I won't even get into that, but sure, $1.5 billion for both. That's why I asked about the Lynx part, because I agree with you. I do think that's one that's on the rise.
Yes,
I can't argue that the WNBA is growing in popularity right now. The Wolves, man, I can see why he tried to back out of it.
Yeah, you're like, well, hold on I'm giving this thing away. The owner the owner, I forget his name, purchased his team in 1994 for like $88 million, which in 1994.
That's why, I mean, come on, for $1 billion.
And he purchased a team so they wouldn't move to New Orleans. They were going to move out again. He made his money being a printer. He like printed like all the wedding invitations. That's where the guy. I always like to see where people make their money. And the owner that just sold was a printer, made his money selling and printing wedding invitations.
That's incredible. It's incredible.
So A-Rod is now an owner. You remember they tried to get the Mets, and when that didn't go through, they moved on to the Timberwolves. He will be not the governor of the Timberwolves. His co-owner will be. A-Rod's going to be in charge of the Lynx. I don't know if A-Rod has a reputation that some people like, some people don't. I've watched many things on him. The dude is a business guy. I mean, he is a business guy, and he likes to be involved with sports. He knows sports, but it's fun to see these guys who are mega superstars like A-Rod was, and take out the steroid thing. Still should be in the Hall of Fame, but to see them do something like this, I just like to say, instead of just being, it's not a story of, oh, you got out of the league and or Major League Baseball and you're on down times, or you disappear. You're doing something with your talents, and it shows that you're passionate about something else. And this is a pretty darn good investment.
Magic Johnson is the name that comes to mind that got into the ownership group side of this. Derek Jeter, wasn't he a part owner in the Rays for a while?
I think the Marlins.
Marlins, remember,
that's what it was. Thank you. The disaster that was the Marlins. I think he's out. I think they more or less kicked him out because.
Now, John Elway was never part owner. He just was general manager, right?
I don't know if he got a piece of the team, but he was the general manager for a long time.
And then Larry Bird just did the coaching front office thing. He never did the He never got into the ownership side of things at all. I'm just trying to think of other athletes that have done this. Whether A-Rod's a good businessman, a bad businessman, I don't know. And here's the thing about owners. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In the long term, what I mean is it doesn't affect fandom, shouldn't affect fandom at all.
Well, where it affects fandom is if you don't spend money on your team to make sure they win, then it affects fandom.
Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say, that's the impact that they have. Absolutely. They're the owner of the team. They're the ones that are going to decide where all the money gets spent. That it really does matter. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, we care about the games. If the Steinbrenners sold the Yankees to the Smith family, I'm not all of a sudden like, well, I don't know about this Yankees mug anymore. It's not the Steinbrenner family anymore. Would you be if the Hunts sold the Chiefs? There would be people that would be like, "Oh, okay, we still got Patty Mahomes, right?"
True. I mean, in very few cases, owners have a lot of power. I would say, the Buss family, like the Lakers, even in Jeannie's still going to be like the governor, so she's gonna run it. The Steinbrenners are one of those ownership groups where you have Jerry Jones would be one.
Yeah.
But
prominent Mark Cuban was a prominent owner.
Yeah.
For the most part, I guess that's what I'm getting at. It's like I didn't like A-Rod, but I don't care at all about what his business ventures are. Hell, I hope the guy makes a bunch of money. Good for him. Hope it's not my money, but I hope he makes a lot of money out there in the world.
Yeah, he's like, well, we bought it for 1.5. We're already up $2 billion in this deal.
Yeah, they're going to do okay.
They're going to do okay, no matter how long they hold on to that team. 515-517-2303. It's good to have you along this morning. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
The Royal Mile, where everyone's a wee bit British. The Royal Mile is downtown Des Moines' living room with classic pub favourites. Pair them with a glass of whiskey or an expertly poured Guinness. It's bloody brilliant. The Royal Mile, a proper British pub.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza. The patio is open and ready for you, your friends, and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening this summer at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
So, you're driving along the road and minding your own business when a thought pops into your head. When's the last time I had my alignment checked? You know it's important. Poor alignment can impact your tire wear, your grip on the road, and even your gas mileage. But just as your mind starts to ache and the sweat starts to pool around your lower back, you remember, I service my car at Willis Cadillac in Clive, Iowa, and they check the alignment for free with the purchase of any service. And the serenity of that thought frees you once again. Give us a call or head online to williscadillac.com to schedule your appointment today.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. About a half hour left in the show. Good to have you along on a Wednesday. Hope your day's off to a good start. You need to start with a Core Power from Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling.
I'm out of it right now, dude. I gotta get more. Because I can't find the 42 gram Core Power anymore. I can find the 26 gram, and I really liked the vanilla, so I could just add that as my cream into my coffee, or if that's whatever you would call that, my little additive to my coffee, my sweetener. And then
I'll let you know a secret. My wife came home with a case of the 42 gram last night, chocolate, and I think she got it. I don't know. She went shopping. But I think she got it at Costco. I could be wrong, but I think she got it at Costco.
I scoured my Costco the other day for it, the one in West Des Moines, and couldn't find it. I could find the knockoff one. You know what I mean? There's one that pretends to be Core Power,
Yes.
and it
It's
tastes
not Core Power?
chalky.
Yeah.
Tastes chalky and nasty.
But I love the Core Power, and I think you will love the Core Power. It's either 26 or 42 grams of protein. Got that Fairlife dairy in there. Not too many carbs, not too much sugar. Just a perfect protein shake that'll fill you up and give you the physique like me.
Tastes like melted ice cream is the best
does.
way. That I think Eli or one of the kids came up with that, or somebody said that to me. I was like, that's it. It tastes like melted ice cream in a bottle.
So when you stop by your favorite C-store today, Quick Star, Casey's, Quick Trip, Maverick, as we call it now, pick up a bottle of Core Power and go, yeah, this is really, really good. And don't forget, it's from Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Ross, we don't talk a lot of NBA. We were just talking about the sale of the Timberwolves, but tonight's the night. It is the NBA draft tonight. Are you geeked up? Are you gassed up? Are you ready for the NBA draft?
I think Cooper Flagg's supposed to go number one, right?
Cooper Flagg. To me, there are really three storylines in the NBA draft. One is Cooper Flagg. I mean, Cooper Flagg is...
And I know the Dallas Mavericks have that number one pick.
Yep.
Okay.
Cooper Flagg is the number one story because he's the number one pick, and everybody likes to talk about the number one pick in the NBA draft. And will Cooper Flagg turn out to be the superstar that people think he will be? And I think the second big story is the story of Ace Bailey. Ace Bailey is coming out of Rutgers. A lot of people thought Ace Bailey was going to be a top 5 pick. He chose, Ross, not to work out for any team. Did not attend the combine. He did not work out for any team. He was supposed to have a meeting with Nick Nurse and the Philadelphia 76ers. Supposed to have dinner, maybe a possible workout. He backed out on that late and decided not to do a workout. So he's coming into the draft basically, okay, trust me, I'm about basketball. I don't care who you are. For any job that you get, you have to interview for, right? I mean, he's basically saying, look at my tape. That's what you get. That's a dangerous approach to take. And a lot of people believe he's fallen out of the top 5. But because, I know. And it'd be interesting to see if he falls any farther. Because now teams are going to go, God, he's there.
He's a great talent.
He's a great talent. Let's take the chance. But if you have a chance to be a top 5 pick and it drops you out of that top 5, would it have killed you to work out for a team? Would it have killed you to sit down and talk to general managers and owners?
This is the same conversation that all of these GMs are having. His agent knows something we don't know.
Good or bad or both?
Probably bad. What? I mean, just like let's have the conversation they'd be having in that boardroom. Why wouldn't his agent bring him here? What's the positives and what's the negatives? And what could they possibly be holding from us? This goes back to that conversation we had earlier in the week about how our brains aren't built for these questions. We fill it in with really dark, nasty stuff. So you go, oh, they don't want us to find out that he fill in the blank. Fill in the blank. I can't imagine it's something good. Like, are they? No, man, you're going to impress them too much. They're gonna want to pay you too much money. I don't know. I don't.
I mean, this goes one of two ways, right? Either you pass on him in the top 5, and he turns out to be this mega superstar, and you go, man, we had a chance, but we didn't take the chance. Or he flames out, and you go, see, that's why we didn't take him. It really goes one of two ways. But see, that's the problem with agents is because you trust somebody. You hire somebody, you're paying them, 8, 10, 15% of what you make, and they give you advice. But I also like ownership going, listen, we want to talk to you. We want to get to know you. We want to see, we hear buzzwords, and they do mean something, but they become kind of broken records, and they become, coach, speaker, whatever. When you hear character, integrity, all that stuff, if you're going to make a multi-million-dollar investment in somebody, you want to know what you're buying.
Have you seen that he's lost 3 inches?
How do you magically lose 3 inches? Are you telling me they printed the program wrong at Rutgers? Are you saying they inflated his height?
This is while playing at Rutgers, he was listed as being 6'10", but at the draft combine measured at 6'7.5". They lied 2.5 inches.
Boy, you magically shrunk.
Dude, I don't get it. I mean, seems like you're overplaying your hand quite a bit there if you're doing that.
The other story coming out of the draft tonight, and again, I think there's 3 big stories here.
Okay.
Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, and the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets, you may not know this. I'm going to ask you. How many draft picks in the first round do the Brooklyn Nets have?
3.
No.
They have 4 first-round picks?
No.
They don't have any.
They have 5 first-round picks. They have 5 or 8, 19, 22, 26, and 27.
Okay.
That is a power play, meaning you have a lot of options now.
Yeah.
You can have I mean, you look at that and you're like, how can you not build a team that should win a championship in a couple of years? 5 first round.
Oh, no. You're going to, I think, Travis, you go back and look at the NBA draft and the hit rate and even the first round of guys that end up. So you're probably looking, I mean, it's a huge advantage. No doubt about that. I think that if you're the Nets and you're a Nets fan, you've got to look at that and go, if we get 2 or 3 good players out of this, then that's a hit. That's a win. Don't want to have 1 of the 5.
Yeah, you better have more than 1.
Better have more than 1 of the 5. If you miss on all 5, everybody loses their job. If you miss on 2 of the 5, I think that's a big hit.
Now we don't know if the Nets will finish and take all 5 first round picks, because now you have trading power. You're like, oh, you want a first round pick? What do we get in return?
You get a first round pick. You get a first round. Oprah.
And who knows, by the time the draft hits tonight, they may be down to like 2 first round picks.
Yeah.
But they're getting something in return on the trade market. But you're going to the draft with like a full house, a straight flush going.
Man, that is wild. You could roll next year with a Fab 5. You get your ass kicked, but you could roll next year with a Fab 5 of rookies.
It's the most first-round picks of a team since Minnesota had 4 in 2009. 5 first-round picks. That's an insane number. It's like on the clock, the Nets. On the clock, the Nets. How is this possible?
Thought they just picked. They did.
They did. Yeah, there will be a stretch where they go from 22 to 26 to 27. You're like, damn.
Do they do 26 and 27 like when you're at one of those fantasy football drafts and it's a snake draft and you get to number 12 and the guy just gives two names? I'm going to take Larry Fitzgerald and Eric Rett.
They should, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have back-to-back picks if they keep them. It's kind of like when Cooper Flagg is going to get drafted tonight, number 1.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, you know how this is going to go. Now on the clock,
they have
Dallas
5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and they'll go down to really. You knew who you were going to take. If you don't know who you're going to take right now, then you're foolish. You have the number 1 pick. You've had all the time to get ready for this. Don't milk the clock. Just don't milk it. Just go up and make your pick. And
I think
same with
great.
number 2.
If a commissioner went up there and was like, "Hey guys, we've actually got the first 3 picks in already." Everybody knew that Cooper Flagg was going to be number 1. So 2's ready to go. 3's got one in the chute. But we got to get some commercials in. We got to do these 4. We got to make this.
It's like, hey, we allotted 2 hours of time for the draft. You got to drag this thing along. Let's just slow down the pace a little bit here.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll be watching the Ace Bailey thing to see what happened. That's a storyline to keep an eye on. Yeah. And now, quite frankly, is this indicative of something? Because that's the conversation that they're having behind the scenes right now is, man, what does this mean? If he doesn't want to come and do this stuff, what are we signing up for? I don't know. Right. Trav, maybe they've done a lot more homework. They know a lot more about the kid than you and I do sitting here. But on the surface, this is a bad look.
You can do homework to an extent, though, right? In meaning that, sure, you can watch game tape, but if you don't get those personal workouts, which I think are pretty valuable, that's a job interview. And if you don't get to sit down and talk to a person one-on-one, that's a big. Then it's more of a gamble. And I want the kid to succeed, but I also don't want this to work, because if it works for him, then what happens?
Yeah.
Other guys go, well, he never worked out. He never talked to a guy. I'm going to roll the dice. I don't have to do this. It's a gamble for sure. But those are I think the 3 big stories with the NBA draft. I love the NBA draft. Not that I love to watch, but what I mean is it's 2 rounds and you're done. It's not like this 3-day event that the National Football League has where it's just turned into a big moneymaker for them.
Yeah. I'll be watching those 2 storylines. That'll be 2. Cooper Flagg's going number 1. That's not a storyline. Oh, interesting.
Aaron Rodgers was on Pat McAfee yesterday. This is possibly his last season. Possibly his last season. God, I hope so.
Why?
Well, it's interesting. I was thinking about this getting ready for the show. You know, when Tom Brady retired, you know, there was always that, God, I think I'm ready for Aaron Rodgers to go away just because of all the drama that surrounds Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
I'm not attached to Aaron Rodgers. I was never a Packers fan. Never a Jets fan. I'm a Steelers fan. I want him to win with the Steelers, but it's kind of like the repeating storyline. Oh, we're going to go through it again. Are you done? You're in the news. It's like a long drawn out story. You know, there's some players who are like, God, I don't want him to hang it up. I think he's got one more. I think I was like that with Brady. I wasn't a huge Tom Brady fan, but he was still winning. He didn't make it about him. You know what I mean there? It was never about Tom Brady.
Yeah, and everything is about Aaron Rodgers. Yeah,
whether he wants it to be or not.
That I agree with. I'm kind of tired of when Brett Favre did this for year after year after year. I'm retiring. I'm coming back. Yeah, kind of sick of Aaron Rodgers a little bit. I've never been a fan or a hater of Aaron Rodgers in any way. I guess I feel like if the dude can still play and help a team win, then let's see it. I don't think that Steeler fans. I hope more that this season doesn't affect Mike Tomlin's legacy. First thing that happened when I saw that, I was like, shoot, I don't like this for Mike Tomlin. That's a Hall of Fame coach with a Hall of Fame resume and all the other things. And Aaron Rodgers leaves a wake behind him of people. And so,
and how rare is that you go, I hope it doesn't affect the head coach's legacy.
Yeah.
I mean, because that doesn't happen that often. But I think you look at Tomlin and you look at the franchise that is the Steelers. And there's something unique about the Steelers, the blue collarness of the Steelers, the Rooney family, the 3 head coaches over the last 50 years, and you're part of that. And when you listen to him, he's one of the good guys, right? I mean, you're like, and I know what you mean by that. Is I hope it doesn't affect the legacy.
Yeah. Mike Tomlin, you're saying, is one of the good. Yeah. I like him a lot, and so kind of I'm ready for Aaron Rodgers to be done. If this is it, this is it. And last year didn't prove to me that he was still a guy like Tom Brady that could get out there and help a team be dynamic.
Do you think when Aaron Rodgers does retire, he just disappears?
No.
You don't think he does?
Oh, God, no. No, it'd be on Joe Rogan. It'd be on Pat McAfee. No. Trying to think of an athlete that I think he will be like. That's a tough one.
I mean, I don't see him in a booth anywhere. I don't see him. I could see him getting into the podcasting world of his own, to where, and it's not about sports. It's about weird stuff.
Mike Tyson. Still culturally relevant, has the weed, has the edible gummies that look like ears. Not, again, polarizing. There will be a comeback story with Aaron Rodgers. There will people that hate him now will have a moment in 15 years. They'll be like, oh, now that he's a grandpa, whatever. Whatever.
He's got to have kids first.
Yeah, right. Got to hold on to a relationship for a while. Oh, he is married. That's right. Got married secretly.
Secretly got married. We
That's
don't
so
know who's
weird.
weird.
Again, but yeah, he won't go away. He loves the spotlight.
But he says he doesn't love the spotlight. I know. I love the look you just gave me. Like, you're gonna. I was being facetious, sarcastic.
My best trait's my humility. Did you see who got blessed by Pope Leo the 14th?
No.
Sam Laporta and his wife.
Really?
Yeah. Sam Laporta and his wife took a vacation to the Vatican. He got married on June 14th. And he and his wife went to St. Peter's Basilica, Vatican City, and got a blessing from the Pope.
Now, you may or may not know this. This may not be part of it, but I'm curious. Was it a mass blessing, or or was it like, hey, they got to meet the Pope?
They got to meet the Pope.
Wow.
They are. The photo is them. It looks like it. There's a line of couples. His wife is wearing her rosary, and the Pope is standing a foot in front of Sam Laporta and his wife, blessing them.
What if Sam goes,
It's the real deal.
Hate to tell you this, Pope. I play for the Lions. I know you're a Bears fan, but could you still give me a blessing?
That's actually one of the things was like, wait a minute, I thought this guy was a Bears fan. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought you'd find that.
I wonder if you have to pay for that.
Oh my gosh.
What?
I bet you do, don't you?
Either that or you have to know somebody of extreme power to get you to the front of that line or get you in that line.
See, and there's not a lot in this story here. And Sam Laporta just put out a thing on Instagram that was the clip of it. And that's all I see.
There's something about this Pope, man, and this is my Catholicism coming out, but I love it being an American Pope. It's just his mannerisms are different. The way he interacts with people is different. It's very American, and it's fun to watch. I don't know if he'll bring more people back to the church or not, but it is it's just fun to go, hey, we got an American Pope. It's something I never thought I would see in my lifetime.
I love what dude said. You don't have to pay for it. You have to tithe for it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
And Austin said this is actually a thing for newlywed Catholics. Wow, that's really cool. That's an interest. Okay, so I don't mean to do an absolute 180-degree veer.
So you're going from the Pope to what?
This is so good. This is so good. There's a 400 hurdler out there in the world named Chris Robinson. Okay.
Okay. Male or female? Because Chris is a kind of a
Chris is a male. Okay.
Okay.
I want you to Google Chris Robinson hurdler. Okay. I want you to Google Chris Robinson hurdler. Chris Robinson. He's a very good hurdler. Very talented. He's blessed. He's a blessed hurdler is what Chris Robinson is.
What do you mean blessed?
Well,
I'm on his Wikipedia page now.
No, you don't want to go to his Wikipedia page. Just Google Chris Robinson hurdler and look at the top stories that pop up because there's all sorts of stories in the world right now about Chris Robinson. I'll go to one that everybody will trust.
My God. Oh, my God.
We'll go to Reuters.
We started with penises. Let's end with penis. Go ahead.
Robinson overcomes embarrassing wardrobe malfunction to win Ostrava 400 hurdles. American Chris Robinson overcame an embarrassing wardrobe malfunction to win the 400 hurdles at the Ostrava Golden Spike meeting in the Czech Republic on Tuesday, breaking the tape at 48.05 seconds. That's flying in the 400 hurdles. The 24-year-old had to adjust his shorts on multiple occasions.
While he's running.
After inadvertently exposing himself, and he hit the final hurdle hard before rolling into a somersault after crossing the finish line. He lay on the track grinning after finishing his best time of the season, 1/10 of a second off of his personal best. Crossed the line 600ths of a second ahead of Brazilian Matthias Lima at the World Athletics Continental Tour Gold event.
And this is after hitting a hurdle. He was running free, Ross.
Everything came out. He is running the 400 hurdles in an international competition. The headlines here are amazing. So, hurdler wins 400-meter race despite his dick and balls falling out several times. Eagle-eyed trackheads following the Ostrava Golden Eye Spike in Czech might have noticed American hurdler Chris Robinson, an NCAA champion at Alabama, winning the 400 meters with some unorthodox form. Midway through the event, he began reaching after every hurdle to adjust himself in a way familiar to any penis haver.
You know how hung he must be? Think about how hung this guy is.
I said. Chris is blessed. He's got talents.
Wow. I mean, I'm surprised that thing as he's running is just not hitting him in the chest. Stay down. Stay down. And this is not erect. Damn.
It's just easier if I just wrap it around my arm and carry it.
See, what's surprising about this, in all seriousness, and I know track guys wear shorter shorts, but still, to have the thing flopping out is amazing. But, in the old days, Ross, and I still have it because I keep it as a collector's item, you wore a jock strap. For stuff like this wouldn't happen, right? You'd put on the jock strap, had, the straps in the back of the butt. Then they moved on to compression shorts. Why aren't you wearing compression shorts? Ross is laughing uncontrollably.
You said you keep your jock strap. Why?
Just as a relic. As a relic. To remind yourself, hey, this is what we used to wear. Used to put a cup in there.
Do you remember during the Olympics, the pole vaulter who knocked over the French pole vaulter? Did you ever see that, Trav?
Mm-mm.
You didn't see the pole vaulter during the Olympics who lost? He lost because his giant dong hit the pole. He cleared the bar.
And he's coming down and his penis knocks the pole off?
You've not seen that?
I have not. Now I know I'm going to Google as soon as the show's over. That's impressive. Damn.
I think this is impressive as well. And this is, again, another fear. Back the other way. Jalen Williams with the Oklahoma City Thunder, celebrating his NBA championship, did something for the very first time. 24 years old, Travis. He had his first drink of alcohol.
Wow. That's crazy. He got all the way through college and didn't drink a drop of alcohol?
Have you seen some of the stories coming out of the Thunder's post-game celebration?
No.
Dude, most of the alcohol was not touched. Several of the players had no idea even how to open a bottle of champagne.
How do I open this?
They had their families there with them. It was like it was not the typical party atmosphere. It was like, hey, let's bring our families in. We did it.
They're built different.
It's different, man.
It's different. It's different. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in today. We appreciate it. Don't forget to go to therushradio.com. You can listen to the show on replay all the time. Even find the podcast version and find our social media channels. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. We're crossing our fingers, special interview for tomorrow. Of course, Bruno's going to be in. We're not going to give that interview away because I haven't got full confirmation, but just teasing you a little bit. We may have a pretty good one tomorrow. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
Don't you hate when you're on a road trip and you want to stop somewhere to get something to eat, but you need to take a look at the menu first? Here at Willis Nissan, we decided to implement some menus to make servicing your car easier and more efficient. Our menu offers good, better, and best packages based off of your mileage of your vehicle. And we're offering 10% off the entire menu for the month of June if you mention this ad. Feel free to make an appointment at willisnissan.com or walk on in and make sure that your car is ready for the road trips that you're going on this summer.
Largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High quality stuff. Can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.